for me, I would say the best combo for all of that would be Brazil. And the reason for that is the food is great, the temperature is great, you've got beaches forever. You can either date a native, or you can bring a woman over to there. Women would gladly go there. How many times have I told Ukrainian women, I said, I like to be with you, but I can take you to Brazil. I don't want to be in America. They're like, cool, let's do it. Portuguese is a rather easy language to learn. And weather good, culture decent, but it has a lot of different cultures in it as well. It's already a melting pot. Plus, you have the largest diaspora of Africans outside of Africa. So if you want to have an African woman, she's there. You got very dark Brazilians there. So you got hues, you got a whole slew of possibilities there. Infrastructure is good. Another thing that I'm going to emphasize very heavily is, even though we're talking about other countries, we're still Westerners, right? So we have to have a certain level. We can't go that far. And we have options. There's a lot of options there. So the infrastructure is good, food is good. It's a Christian-based society. If you want to be Muslim there, though, they're down with that. They're not going to go do something against you. Got a lot of international flights. Sanitation's good. Yeah, I would go to Brazil with all of that.
Let me add a point there. What about healthcare? Does Brazil offer great healthcare?
Yeah, it does. And when I had COVID in Brazil, they treated me very well and gave me some great coverage. So it's actually very decent. It's not like the States where, you only get great healthcare if you're about to die, and then they kill you with a bill. So it's actually a pretty good. It's pretty good. But you got a lot of variety, because the passport bros. One thing I noticed about us as a group is, a lot of black men really do favor dark women. It's a huge focus. So you definitely have a lot of dark women there. So that's going to be a good one for you. Yep.
Interesting. Yep. Now, another point is that as the channel grows bigger, as we get more brothers on this movement, conferences every 6 months or maybe once a year. Can Brazil give us that scalability, that base to build, to have conferences, brother?
Yeah, we can definitely do it. We can definitely do it in Rio, or I prefer Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is a very mature city, but it's huge. It's well over 10 million people. It's absolutely huge. When I was there for 2 months, I was actually kind of like awake and looking at it. And I traveled a lot more than I did before. There's a lot of options there. And then they got football galore. You can go see a football match all the time. It's good stuff. So, yeah, we want conferences. They got the infrastructure. They got the airports. Not a problem.
Interesting there. But safety is a bit of a problem there in Brazil. It is quite a dangerous country.
Not really. Not compared to what we see in like liberal cities in the States. Think of it. I'm here in Austin right now. There was just a hostage situation over the weekend. 3 people died. People don't say, "Oh, let's go stop going to Austin." No, you get like 300 people coming here every day right now. That's how big the city is. It's increasing. It just keeps on growing. But there was just a hostage situation. Chicago, I think like 8 people just died over the weekend. Nobody bats an eye, right? Keeps on going. You're not going to have those kind of numbers in Brazil. Just not even in Colombia. You're not going to have the numbers like that. So, yeah, there is some crime, but if you really want the crime, okay, go to the south side of Chicago. Go to Manchester on 1 o'clock in the morning when the pubs are closing. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Interesting. Brother, the golden question is the Japanese Brazilian woman. Brother, are those women in Sao Paulo, particularly the Japanese Brazilian woman, are they checking heavy for brothers? You know, we need that intel, bro.
Yeah, I had no problems with them. In fact, I would get them staring at me every once in a while, particularly if they were around me and I didn't know that they were Japanese Brazilian. So sometimes I would just think that they were Brazilian. Like I thought they were Morena. And I would kind of, like, I'd be doing my own thing. I'm going through my sets in the gym or something like that. And then I start looking at her because Japanese women, if they like you, they'll just stare right at you. Like that's it. Like they give you, you don't have to, they're choosing signals and a signal. It's more like a book. It's like a Godzilla coming right at you, but you know it. So more than once, again, this one encounter, this woman kept on was looking at me, and then she just came over and talked with me, and she was just very direct. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I just switched into Japanese. And I said, are you Japanese? And Nihonjin desu ka? And she's like, oh my God, you speak fluent Japanese. And I just went into Japanese, and she could speak some of it, but my Japanese was superior to hers. She says, yes, I'm half Japanese, half Brazilian. And that was a very typical situation. That happened to me quite a few times in different situations here. They are some of the sweetest, most delightful women I've ever met. They are just absolutely wonderful. And if they like you, they'll just walk right up to you. They're fun. They're just totally fun. I had a great time with them.
Did you see them with brothers in Sao Paulo, Japanese Brazilian women, holding hands with brothers, mingling with brothers, being in love with brothers, kissing brothers?
There's not that much PDA here. I mean, there
PDA?
is, but it's not that public displays of affection.
Okay.
So there is some, but not much. I didn't see it that much. Plus, there aren't a lot of black men. So there are a few, but there's just not a lot of them. So I would say I saw by far more black women here than I saw black men, but there are black men out there. So no, I didn't see Japanese women with much guys, period, to be honest. Most of the time I saw them, they were by themselves or they were with other Japanese women or Brazilian women. Huh. Yeah, it kind of makes sense for the area. So, I think that's part of the reason why they were looking at me, because I was single. It was obvious I'm single. So they definitely look. I had the same thing with most of the other women here. They would always give me a choosing signal, and they would look again and again. The ones that I was looking at the most were probably the Afro Latinas. Okay. I had a kind of a thing for them. So, wow, they're gorgeous. But the Japanese Brazilians were the ones who really took my heart more than once. Yeah, I highly recommend them.
Okay, brother. Hold on. So when you speak about Japanese Brazilian woman, you're talking about personality. I also think that looks are important: curves, body, face. How's their faces and bodies like in Brazil, bro? These Japanese Brazilian women.
They're head turners. You'll definitely look twice, but their personalities are like, again, it really reminds me of Japanese women in the mainland. They're totally beautiful on the inside. They're just stunning. It's very hard to stop talking to them. They're very communicative, very fun. I really enjoyed talking with them more. I had a few dates with them, had a good time. I had dates with German women too. The German women were nice. So it's a good place for the women. I would definitely say that. For the Brazilians, I wouldn't say necessarily that there's particularly a different personality based upon race. The Japanese do have a lot of their Japanese culture intact. So the fact that I spoke Japanese fluently got me very far with them. So I understood the situation extremely well. So yeah, I mean, but in terms of body, I mean, if you're looking for a booty, you're not looking for a Japanese Latina. Sorry, a Japanese Brazilian, because most of them are like max a size 4.
Yeah,
that would be a big one. They're micro. I at the gym, 'cause I don't know how many women I met there. Like a size 4, maybe a size 6, but lots of size 4s. It's kind of like, for some women, they're a size 4, but their booty's like a size 8. So some of them were doing the training for the booty. A lot of size 6s doing a lot of squats. I definitely saw that going on here, but it wouldn't be a size 10. Like a size 8 would be exceptional. And CrossFit saw the exact same thing. A lot of the restaurants, it was very rare to see a woman who was like a size 10. Like size 6 would be about the most. A lot of women, particularly, like, this is a financial area that I'm in. It's summer, so they kind of wear kind of revealing clothing. Most of the time it's classy, but their shape. They show their shape off. Sometimes they do wear something a little bit lower. They are stunning. I don't know how many times I just sat and stared. It's like, holy, I can't say the next word. Your channel's clean. But I just sit there. I didn't know what to do. They're just gorgeous. And they're not gorgeous in a sexy way that you see like in the media. They're very classy, but they're like, yeah, I'm like a normal woman, and I'm like a family-oriented woman who is exceptionally sexy. But they're not outward. Like I would say, like a lot of the Western women, they have, like, comparatively speaking, they have a low sense of like a low self-confidence. So they're using their sexiness to get attention. A lot of the women here, they're not using their bodies for attention, but they know people are looking at them, but they don't care. So they dress really well, but they're not trying to flaunt. I did have a thing for Afro-Latina curves here. They were, yeah, it was amazing. They just had this really beautiful body structure. Morenas had it too. I mean, but I just saw more of the Afro-Latinas having that kind of structure, that body structure. That was just absolutely stunning. Yeah, hot.